Okay, so part three of my testimony of surrender. I've been trying to do this for a while, and I keep getting interrupted. So hopefully I can get this actually done this time. So I started with part one of my testimony, talking about how God, when I surrendered my brokenness and my life just struggles to God, He gave me His love and freed me from trying to prove myself. And when I surrendered my dream of the Southern California life and the plan I saw, the picture I had of my future to Him, He gave me joy and more love, and even my husband Ben, and just changed my life completely as I spent 3 years in China. And so after all that, all the amazing things God has done as I've surrendered my life and my will over to Him, you would think that it would be super easy for me to continue to surrender to Him, but I still struggle. Um, I have a very strong, what I call Christina logic, which is my reasoning, my idea of how things should go and what they should look like. And I am not always good at asking God first or coming to Him first. And one area of my life where I have struggled with this by far the most is in being a parent. And whew, having my boys really threw me for a loop and has been a big struggle. And for the first, I would say probably 3 or 4 years, 3 years mostly, I would say, I really tried to figure it out on my own and did not surrender my parenting of them over to God. I tried so hard. I read books. I followed people on Instagram. I asked advice. Like, I just was always trying to figure out what I could do to get these little beings to do what I wanted them to do. That perfectionism, that need to control just came out in massive ways that I just did not expect. And I was frustrated and stressed, and just this like extreme weight of raising them right and making them into good little men, and just seeing them behave well just loomed on me and like sat on my shoulders in such an intense way that I just ended up being very angry. I tried so hard and just failed at getting them to listen, at getting them to do things how I wanted them to do things, and felt like a major failure and just was so angry. And I realized that I was just embarrassed, honestly, because I thought, man, how can I not? What kind of a mom am I? I can't control my children. They're crazy. And everything feels like chaotic and out of control in my house. And all I wanted was peace. And I just prayed and prayed for peace. And all I found was anger and frustration. And so finally, like I said, about 3 years in, I surrendered my parenting to God. And I said, I cannot do this. This is too much. I had to find help for my anger issues, and I had to figure out how I could parent my children a better way. And God just showed me. He said, I know you, I know your husband, and I know your boys better than anyone else, and I know exactly what you all need. And so trust me first. Come to me first. Don't try to find out what to do from everyone else, but come to me first, and I will show you what you need. And He really guided me, first of all, with my anger. I've talked about it before on here, that He showed me that my pride was really driving my anger. I was feeling so embarrassed and feeling so ashamed that I couldn't get my kids to behave how I wanted them to. And that was really being driven by pride, and I had to let go of that and find some healing in that with God, and just realize that they are their own little beings, and they're not completely 100% a reflection of me, and then they're not going to be perfect, and that's okay. And then He showed me that my son has sensory processing disorder, so he has some extra challenges that make it a little extra difficult for him to behave well, and he's breaking everything all the time, and he's loud, and he's a little bit crazy at times, and struggles in ways. And so because of, I was finally able to understand that, I was able to get him help. He's been in occupational therapy and speech therapy and feeding therapy, and I've seen just incredible growth in him. And I have so much more understanding and compassion for him, knowing where he's coming from and not feeling so frustrated that I can't control him or make him do things how I want. I love him so much, and I am so proud of the way he's growing, and he still drives me crazy, and he still has his issues and his moments, but I know that he is a child of God, and God has him in his hand, and I can trust God to care for him. And so, um, I said I really wanted to find peace, and God showed me this verse through my sister-in-law. She said, recommended, just as she was praying for me over all of this, she pointed this verse out to me, and it's just stuck with me as a promise that God has given me. It's John chapter 14, verse 27. It says, I'm leaving you with a gift, peace of mind and heart. And the peace I give you is a gift the world cannot give. So don't be troubled or afraid. And it just really spoke to exactly where I am, where I was, where I continue to be as a parent. I need to come to God for his peace. It's a peace that the world can't give me. I can't find answers or solutions outside of God, and I don't have to be troubled or afraid when things come up and things are challenging, but I can look to God, and he has, just in that surrendering of my parenting and that surrendering of control again and that surrendering again of my perfectionism, he has given me peace that just is amazing. And my house is still a big mess and still super chaotic and crazy, and things don't go exactly how I want them to go, but I definitely appreciate the peace that I found in the midst of that. And when I do feel worried or anxious, it's a little like check for me that I am trying to take control again, and that I need to come back to God and find out what his plan is, because when I feel that weight on my shoulders, that's me taking that burden back from God, and I don't need to do that. And so it's a really good sign for me that I need to stop and reevaluate what's going on and what I'm doing and what I'm thinking. So I definitely, you know, have to wake up every day and choose to follow God. And some days I choose to follow him very well, and some days I take things into my own hands and make a big mess. But he is so good and so faithful to always be there to pick up the pieces of my mess and to guide me back to him. And I'm so thankful for that. So I just hope that you're encouraged that God is so good and he's always with us and he takes such good care of us, and that in him we can find so many things, all the fruit of his spirit. For me, that the love and the joy and the peace have been huge, things that I've really desired in my life. And as I've let go of my need for control and surrendered to him, I just, it's a relief. And I love receiving his love, his joy, and his peace. So I hope you can find what you need too in his love. All right, bye.